Welcome to HyVee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine HyVee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
It's always a good sign if you can start the show with a laugh. Welcome to HyVee Today. This is Tony Tone. It is the 3rd of September, Thursday. We are inside the Market Grill Express. It's so good to be with you. I want to start, as we always do, with the Lutheran Living Senior Campus weather forecast, brought to you by our friends at Lutheran Living Senior Campus on Lutheran Drive. They've been in town so long, they have a street named after them. That's pretty cool. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 82. Check it out. Tonight, clear and cool, a low of 51. Is that a sign of things to come? And on Friday, sunny and pleasant, as it says on the screen right there, thanks to AccuWeather, 81, the high. What's the deal with next week? There's rumors that temps could be in the 30s. I'm not making it up. There's a snow rumor, apparently. Maybe. Okay, I don't know how trust. Well, listen, I had seen temps potentially diving. And if you look at, we have KWQC on right now. Next Wednesday's high is forecasted at 66 degrees. That's what Kevin Phelps has. So we are definitely, we'll see what happens. You never know. Certainly there can be warmer days of September. But let's just, we'll play it by ear, okay? So there's a look at the weekend and then heading into next week, and you can kind of see it starts to fall off the table a little bit. So we'll see what happens. And we'll keep you updated. I told you about this yesterday. My 5-year-old, Ted, he insisted that I have a birthday present early. My birthday is on Saturday. So Ted wanted me to have this. Oh, it's the old spider in the box. So Ted is very excited that I was going to bring this to work. I feel like I'm doing show and tell, bringing things into work. So look at that. That's pretty good, right? The things you can get on the internet. And then my son Henry wanted me to have a thing of chips. And I was like, I don't know if I'm familiar with this brand of chips. Brad, I don't know if you want to try these. But look out. Turns out it's the old fake snake and the chips gag. Look at that. There's the snake right there. So that thing, as you can imagine, has been put back in the can 700 times already. My daughter is terrified of it. Like even this morning when I was holding it, she was like this. She was doing that move. I thought about taking this over to everybody's favorite, one of our favorite cashiers, Sherry Siwasink at Register 11. But then I thought, I don't want to really scare her into I don't want to send her to the hospital because what happened to Sherry? Well, Tony brought in a fake snake thing, and Sherry passed out. I don't want to do that. I'm not saying that would happen to her, but there you go. All right, a couple things to mention really quick before we get to our guest this morning. We have the new ad that's on the back page of the newspaper this week that started yesterday, day 2 today. Some of these deals will be in a tent in our parking lot, which is out there. The deals on the ad are also available inside the store, so keep that in mind. From 7-Up and Canada Dry to giant boxes of cereal. I love the fuel saver on the Halloween candy. So the Halloween candy, that's going to be inside the store. That's not going to be outside because we don't want it to melt. You can see there's Tide laundry detergent, Hy-Vee bite-sized, Tostados, some water, some beer deals, Skippy peanut butter, crackers, and even more cereal. And it looks like we may have a shot of the tent outside. There you go. Somebody said yesterday, are they going to drive motorcycles in that tent since it's kind of caged in? And that person was Del Wagner, and the answer is no. But that was pretty good. And if you've been to the circus, you've seen that, where they get in the little steel cage, and they do the little motorcycle. Yeah, they do the old, It seems very safe, so we're not going to be doing that. This Sunday in Wilton, I'd love to see you for the Muscatine County Freedom Rock dedication ceremony. Starts around 1 p.m. Now, I think they're going to have stuff going on at noon. You could go down there at noon. I don't have to start emceeing until 1. So I'm going off of my schedule. We'll get all the details tomorrow with Ted Maroff when he's here. But this is the Freedom Rock for all of Muscatine County in Wilton near the old train depot, hand-painted by Bubba Sorensen, who I believe is a state representative in Iowa. He's on a mission to paint a Freedom Rock in every county, so all 99 counties. He's done several of them. There are also brick pavers that people have bought to recognize folks that have proudly served their country, and you can see 500 pavers. That's awesome. This is a big deal. If you're a veteran, active duty, if you're in town, if you bought a brick for a family member, I'd invite you to come out this weekend. You can definitely be safe and practice social distancing. You don't have to get close to me, which is nice for both of us. I asked Ted if I could just do the ceremony from inside the Candy Kitchen. Could I get a wireless microphone and just sit at the counter at the I'm kidding, of course. We'll be right there on Sunday, and that's going to be a good time. Two more things really quick. $30,000 saved on gas with the Hy-Vee Fuel Saver in the month of August. Unbelievable deal. If you don't have the Fuel Saver, get one. Little card that can go on your keychain. You can have it digitally on your phone with the Hy-Vee app or the Isles Online app. You can track how much you have on your fuel saver, and then you'll be saving just like customers at this store. So this is just our store, this Muscatine Hy-Vee, not Main Street, not Davenport, not Iowa City, just this store. $30,404 in the month of August. All right, last but not least, one more thing that's going on this Saturday in Fruitland. If you love music and being outside, bring a chair and $10, and you can enjoy Rock and Roll Hall of Fame members, Lefty and the Spinners, Iowa Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, doing it live at Mad Marv's. Doors open at 6, music at 7, $10 cover, $2 from each ticket goes to the Fruitland All Veterans Memorial that they're working on. Another $2 goes to the Fruitland Volunteer Fire Department. And we definitely need you to come out, bring a seat, social distance, have fun with Lefty and the Spinners. We talked to Paul Elsoff and Scott Hendricks on Monday. If you missed that show, you can rewatch it. Okay, well, last weekend was hot. Actually, no, it wasn't. It kind of cooled off a little bit. Last Friday, it was very hot. Last weekend, the weather was comfortable. And if you knew it or not, people in your community were out making a difference with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County. And the guy that sits atop Rebuilding Together Muscatine County is my friend Frank Iliff, and he's back on the show, and it's good to see you. It's been a while.
Been a while.
But I see you all the time.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Hy-Vee, place to go.
So Frank has been, how long have you been a part of Rebuilding Together here in Muscatine, sir?
2007. That's when we started. March of 2007.
That is fantastic. So 13 years of Rebuilding Together in Muscatine County. You guys have done countless projects. And for people that don't know, Frank, give us a little bit of like an overview on what Rebuilding Together Muscatine County does, and then we'll get into what you were doing last weekend.
Rebuilding Together, all 145 affiliates nationwide. We go into homes and keep people safe, warm, and independent. It's low income. Mm-hmm. We work for people that can't afford our services, and we do it for no cost to the homeowner at all. We build ramps, obviously. We've widened bathroom doors. We cut away the side of bathtubs so people can step in and step out. Mm-hmm. We work for elderly people, those that are disabled, veterans, and families with small children. So is who our main target is. They're the most vulnerable in our society.
The website is on the screen. I was giggling because Chris Anderson was handing me a Starbucks drink. Thank you. You're very kind. RebuildingTogetherMuscatineCounty.org. Frank, in a non-pandemic, National Rebuilding Together Day would have happened when?
April, the last Saturday of April is always our day.
Yeah.
And we had scheduled 5 to 7 projects. We're still dealing with 2 of them.
Okay.
And it was going to be probably 150, 160 people come together at our office. They're on Hauser Street. This year, it just did not happen. We've been like every other business, every other organization has had to go in and revamp and see what we can do. And so that's what we've done.
So, but in 13 years, you've been through, Frank, rain, cold, warm, hot, but never canceled. Is that correct?
We hadn't canceled till this year, right.
So the pandemic, you think about all the implications, all the things that have happened with the COVID-19, Rebuilding Together, National Rebuilding Together Day, one of those things that is unable to happen. But then, like the Phoenix, Rebuilding Together Muscatine County says, we are coming out of quarantine. As it says on the screen, it just needs done. Right. And last weekend, Frank Iliff, your crew I don't know if I've ever seen, I'm a little familiar with the organization. I know about the ramps and the ramp system that you use. I don't know if I've ever seen that big of a ramp. Is that the biggest ramp you've ever done?
Yes, it is.
So give us and I don't know, Chad, if we go
project.
back to that article, if there were pictures from that project, but Frank, why the need for that? Look at the size of this ramp. It's like connecting to the side of the house. Is that correct?
We came off with a 5x8 platform, which is level, anchored to the house, and we put 4x6 timbers in the ground to cemented in the ground, so it'll stay there. And then we came off with the ramp from there. The whole thing is 73 foot long.
73 feet. So tell folks that are watching as much as you can. I mean, obviously, we're going to respect the privacy of the person that you're helping, but Frank, I'm assuming they could not get out of the house. Is that correct?
Right.
They're trapped in their own home.
She's still in the hospital. She, a fairly young lady, 50 years old.
Wow.
Had a heart attack and then a stroke and then another heart attack and just very bad conditions. And they can't bring her home. It's a split level home, as you see. They built it themselves 30 years ago.
Wow.
And there's no way to get her and her wheelchair. She's wheelchair bound. She's paralyzed waist down. And so they can't get her in the house without an elevator, which was a lot of money.
Right.
Or a ramp. He contacted Mark Lofgren. Mark Lofgren contacted United Way, and then Mark called me. I know Mark. And he called us and said, is there anything you can do for these folks? So we went out and checked it out, and a good friend of mine, Keith Garrett, he's one of my guys that works with us all the time. And we measured it out and figured out the only way we could do it is to come off the back of the porch like that.
Wow.
And then come around and turn it and come right down to the driveway. And it's a massive undertaking. We've never done anything this size before. There's 7 42 by 8 foot sections in it.
Holy moly.
There's 3 4 by 42 sections, a 5 by 5 for the 90 degree, and like I said, the 5 by 8 at the house.
It's
a lot of wood.
I was going to say, this is like life-changing. I mean, obviously, this individual had a life-changing thing happen to them, unfortunately. It's terrible, but rebuilding together is there. So the ramp system that you use is
It's called the Minnesota Ramp Building System.
Okay.
It's ADA approved. For every inch up, it has to be a foot of ramp.
Okay.
And then with 2 sections of ramp, you can go 20 feet, but we go 16 feet and then put a rest, which is a level spot where if you're in a wheelchair by yourself, it's time to just stop. You can't just build it just to go straight up. That's impractical and dangerous.
Sure.
So for every 16 feet, there's a rest, and they just stop and take a breath. And if someone's pushing them, same thing. And then a 90 degree for the 5 by 5. So you got to get around the curve and then on up to the top. And there it is.
How many ramps do you think since 2007 Rebuilding Together Muscatine County has installed, Frank, if you had to guesstimate?
I counted it one time, and I think it's probably 25 maybe.
Wow.
We've done 100, this year will be 117 projects that we worked on. We've done a lot of different kinds of projects. We lifted a house one time. It was falling in the middle, and it was 1.5 inches off center, and we got Stanley Consultants to come in and survey it and see what we could do, and we actually jacked up the house and reinforced it and put it back on level.
This is what I'm saying. Like, when you think about organizations in town, and if you're watching and you're not familiar with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County, I'm glad that you're here. Stay with us, because if you're able to volunteer, write that big check if you're with a business, Frank and his crew, I love the stories that you'll tell, Frank. You know, again, in a non-pandemic Rebuilding Together day, you're doing ramps for people, but then there's some folks that literally just need a bathroom updated so that they don't have to step into a tub. Sometimes it's something as small as that.
Right.
It doesn't seem like, I mean, you just said you lifted a house, so the range of things that you seem to do varies within reason, of course, but, you know, I mean, are there any examples that maybe we haven't talked about in the past? The bathroom modifications, the lifting of the house, the ramps. Do you deal with electrical stuff ever?
Anything in town with electric or plumbing, we have to have a licensed electrician on site. We have guys that do electric, but we have to have a licensed one that is covered by permits and such as that.
Sure.
But then Checker Electric. Geez, I could list off the electricians that have helped us. Nelson Electric, Tom Hammond. You know, just all different kinds of electricians have come in and helped us for free. They go in and take care of the job. Checker Electric, Dana Wells is just great. He goes in and he pulled the permit and did the whole thing for us, and brought a house from fuses up to 200 amp.
Wow.
You know, we do Muscatine Electric, same thing. They do whatever it takes to help us out in any way they can. You know.
So I want to ask, and I want to read this comment to you on Facebook. Luann Dahmer says, "Bless you, Frank Iliff. My daughter works for Rebuilding Together in Wisconsin." So that's exciting, right? So Frank mentioned there's 145 affiliates. We're talking about Rebuilding Together in Muscatine County. You put in a ramp like the one that you will complete this weekend. Is that the plan for the
Yes,
pictures that we were showing?
The ramp's built. We'll just do.
Okay.
We'll finish off the handrails. So we need help Saturday.
You need help this
handrails
Saturday?
and the structure underneath.
Okay.
For every 21 inches and below, we put in jack posts underneath the sections, and for 21 and above, we put in cross braces. And so it's quite intricate. When we get done, the thing looks like a bridge of some type. It's really well built. You know,
Wow.
We give it the Fat Man test, which is usually me. I get on it and see if you can shake it, and if you can shake it, we tighten up whatever's shape. But we
Wow.
never have seen one move yet. So
That's
they're
incredible.
tight.
How many volunteers do you think you need this Saturday, Frank?
Oh, I could use 10 people.
10 people.
You know,
Okay.
I've got a crew coming, some 4 or 5, but we could use 10, because it's quite a deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And I was going to ask, over the years, you've had different opportunities to do fundraisers, again, non-pandemic, whether it's a trivia night or other opportunities to get people together. You just put on and you're going to complete the biggest ramp you've ever done. Obviously, there are costs for materials.
Yeah.
I don't know how to ask this. Like, do you find the organization in need of us appealing to people's generosity to donate money? How are you sitting? Have you thought about ways to get creative with fundraising online? Because, again, you're talking about keeping people safe in their home, ramps, bathroom modifications, electrical, whatever the case may be. But again, there's a cost for supplies and materials. I mean, nobody's getting paid for their work. I want to make sure that's clear. But the materials can add up. So what do you need from folks? Besides that blank check, of course.
Well, without saying that we need the money, we do. We're always in. We're a nonprofit, so we're always in need. We have bills to be paid. We have electric, gas, gas, electric, water bill, all that to be paid. We have insurance. We have dues that come around once a year. They're 5% of everything that we take in.
Sure.
We have the price cost. It costs me about $17 per volunteer that comes along.
Okay.
Figuring in the dues and the insurance and the T-shirt and the lunch and everything that's provided. Now Myron up here at Pizza Ranch provides us with lunch, so that's a cost that I don't have to worry about.
Awesome.
But it still has to get figured into the cost of that project.
Sure.
And for every $100 you give me, I'll put $400 worth of value back into the home. Because of the volunteer system that we have.
Isn't that incredible? So if you donated $100, Frank can turn that into $400 with respects to. And I love the pictures that we're looking at from previous years with those Rebuilding Together Day events. So pandemic, Rebuilding Together Day doesn't happen, but you're doing a ramp. Was this ramp last weekend, the one that'll be completed Saturday, the first project of 2020, or have you been able to do things safely?
No. We did a ramp right when we shut down in March 19th, I think it was. We had one scheduled for the following weekend, so we had 4 guys went and took care of that. That was a necessary item. What we do, and people don't realize, what we do sometimes, we're on time schedule. We put a ramp in. The 4 guys did on Saturday. They finished it at 2:30. And a van pulls up, and they get the guy out, and he goes into his house at 3 o'clock.
That's unbelievable.
He would not have been able to do that without that ramp. We're sometimes, it's a timely issue. With her, this lady here, they're hoping to bring her home in a month, so we're not crunched for time. But sometimes we are. Sometimes we got to get this ramp in because we put a ramp in on Tuesday. They brought the lady home on Wednesday from Iowa City. She had ALS. They could not get her in the home without a ramp. And sometimes the people they can't go to the bathroom. My gosh, a basic need until that door's widened because they can't get out of their chair to get to the toilet. And we put in high-rise toilets so they don't have to drop down almost to the floor. We do what it takes. Over here, one of the projects we're doing, and it's a real big house makeover. This lady, the guy died, and so she's a widow. Well, they needed electricity upgraded, so we got a guy working on that, and then we got plumbing. They take the bathtub out and put a shower unit in for her. The bathroom floor was really spongy and not safe.
Sure.
So my wife's going to tell me, look at the camera, don't look at the floor. So anyway, they put a new floor in. They took the tub out, put a shower unit in for her. We're going to take kitchen cabinets out because the ones she has, the door's missing on one. They don't open right. The cabinets are just really messed up. Windows, there's no insulation in the house, so we're going in and replacing the windows and insulating part of the house. The back porch was just really sad shape, so we're fixed all that and put siding on that, insulated that, replaced the front door and the back door. And the ceilings are coming down, so we're going to take the ceilings down and put drywall up.
Oh my God!
And it just goes from one to the other to the other to the other, because this poor lady could not afford any of this.
Sure.
And he had no knowledge of how to fix anything, and it was his skills and talents were tremendous, but they just weren't in the building trades.
Gotcha.
And so I've got guys that are. I got contractors working there. I've got a roofing contractor. I've got a guy that has his own business, construction business, and he's the head of it. I said, I'm just your banker, and he's taking care of the whole project. So yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I know that you have a lot of friends, and I know that you have a lot of support. You know, you talk about people like Mark Lofgren getting involved, and I know people from church help you a lot,
right?
And that's Calvary, right across the street. We can see them as we're sitting here. It's important for people to know that there's a good support system in place, but there's always room, as Frank alluded to a couple minutes ago, there's always room for more volunteers, including this Saturday. Now, Frank, if somebody is watching and they're like, I can help Frank this Saturday, September 5th, what should they do to get a hold of you? Where do they go? What would you want them to do?
We have a waiver that everybody signs. It says that if you drop your hammer on your toe, you won't sue me.
Right.
And everybody signs a waiver, and they get a T-shirt, so I can look across the crowd and say, yep, everybody here's has our shirts. I know they're insured. Now, last weekend this is so different than what we usually do.
Sure.
We didn't have the big meeting to have this is what's going to go on. So we had everybody meet out there at the house. I had the diagram of what we were going to build. Everybody had to sign the waiver, and I said, this is what we have. This is why we have it. And these guys just flew in and took care of business. They really, really did.
Sure.
It was a very incredible thing to watch. I'm very proud of my crews that they come along. Once you tell these guys, and I've caused big men to cry, and I don't brag about it, but it's happened. One time we had this one project that we were just going to weatherize this house. We were going to fix the windows that needed just insulation, stuff like that.
Sure.
Minor projects. Well, about 3 weeks ahead of time, the lady calls me and says, I don't want you guys here. I said, why? What's going on? And she was crying on the phone. And she said, my daughter's in the hospital, and I just am trying to concentrate and try to figure out how I can bring her in the house